What's going on, guys? Austin here, and in this video, we are going to be taking a look at the Week 4 NFL Power Rankings. So, starting off with the worst teams in the NFL, right here we've got the bottom of the barrel. There's only two teams in the NFL that are entirely winless. That's going to be the Houston Texans and the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, you'll notice that the Las Vegas Raiders are not on this graphic. That's because I believe that they still have the requisite talent that they need to win games. They've just faced better competition. They have losses to the Titans, the Chargers, and an incredible collapse against the Cardinals, who are all good teams. The Texans, however, they have a tie with the Colts, a loss to the Bears, and a loss to the Broncos, who none of which are really great teams. The Panthers, they have a quarterback problem. The Chicago Bears, they have an everything on offense with a possible exception of a quarterback and maybe a running back problem. The Seattle Seahawks, they are who we thought they were. They're who they were last year. They've got good weapons. They've got, decent skill position players, but there's just nothing that they can rely on to win games consistently. The Colts, they've showed improvement once they get fully healthy, and once they get rolling, there's a chance that they could end up being finishing somewhere in the AFC South division title. That's I have money on them winning the division, but neither here nor there. Right now, they've been pretty bad. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they're making market improvements, and so far, Trevor Lawrence looks like the Trevor Lawrence that we thought was going to come out of Clemson. I'm not fully convinced on this team, but they're 2-1, leading the AFC South, and they look like they could be 3. The New York Football Jets, who, unfortunately, they just haven't been able to put it all together offensively. They have great offensive pieces. They have a great route runner, a small, slot receiver in Corey Davis. They have a large, get down the field, Martavis Bryant, Kenny Golladay type player in Garrett Wilson, who's probably better than both of those guys. Corey Davis is going to own the middle of the field as a possession receiver, plus Breece Hall, Michael Carter. Unfortunately, Mekhi Becton is going to miss the entire season. And so far, Zach Wilson hasn't played. So, we don't know what we're getting yet with this team, but they have the ability to make anybody's day uncomfortable. You've got the Cleveland Browns just above them. I know that the Jets beat the Browns. I don't think they're that much better. I think they're about on the same tier, at least right now. Now, the Browns do have a great roster. They just have yet to put it all together. Aside from the quarterback, they just have yet to put it all together into a single game as far as defense, offense, the balance that they have on offense and so forth. Now, these are the just barely below average teams. I got the Falcons at 24. Originally they were slated to be, one of the 3 or 4 worst teams in the NFL. So far, they are 1-2, and they've covered the spread on every single game that they played. The Raiders, we talked about them already. They just have too much talent to be in that, bottom of the barrel category. The Giants, they have what looks to be a great defense. They haven't really played great teams, but they've really just been able to muddy up games. We'll see how long that continues, the better competition that they play. The Tennessee Titans, they have the best player in the division in Derrick Henry. He's right there with Shaquille Leonard and Jonathan Taylor and Quentin Nelson, another player on the Colts. He is the best player in the division. He's right there. And when he's right, and the Titans are hard to beat. The Washington Commanders, if they had just a semblance of an offensive line, just anything below garbage, or anything above garbage, excuse me. If they just had anything besides trash cans out there, they could easily be a 3-0 team. Right now, they're 1-2. Their defensive front has not played as well as they should, with Chase Young and Montez Sweat and all the guys that they have there. We'll see if they can get it right. The New England Patriots, just barely in this below average category. With Mac Jones is out, he's going to be coming back. They're going to lose a lot of games without Mac Jones. But the drop-off isn't that sharp. It's just Mac Jones really is a good quarterback. He's just limited with the type of scheme and the type of weapons that they have in New England. Now, Arizona Cardinals just above them. they just haven't played well. Adding DeAndre Hopkins is really going to be what's going to put this team, in that, winning category as far as just like, oh yeah, this team looks like a world beater. And I actually have the Dallas Cowboys, with Cooper Rush just barely above them because I think that, 4 quarters, all 3 sides of the ball, offense, defense, special teams. I think that Dallas just barely balances and beats them out. Now, these are all the above average teams. I have the Saints dropped so far low, and it's breaking my heart because I predicted them to win the division, and I do have money on them reaching 10 wins this season. They have a quarterback problem. It's plain and simple. They'd possibly be 3-0 with Andy Dalton, who, by the way, I say that name because he is on their bench. They could possibly be 3-0 with Andy Dalton. Literally, just don't give the other team the football. Just make sure that you get it to your guys. Doesn't matter where, they have enough skill position players and a good enough defense to be one of the 10, 8, 7, 6 best teams in the NFL. The Steelers are exactly what we knew they would be with Mitch Trubisky. They're a better version of the Bears with Mitch Trubisky. They've got a better defense. They've got better wide receivers, but they still have Mitch Trubisky. Kenny Pickett's probably not going to be the answer, but he's going to give them a more variance as far as, Kenny Pickett's going to take shots that the receivers can exploit that Mitch Trubisky's just not taking. The Bengals, they look like they might have had a get-right game against the Jets where once they put it all together, they can really get on a roll. We'll see if that works this Thursday against the Dolphins. Bengals probably win that game. I know the Dolphins just beat the Bills, but it's a perfect storm for the Bengals right now. The Broncos are 13th because they probably have a top 3 defense, and they probably have somewhere around the 25th best offense. That's about what it is. Really, what the Broncos should have done is they should have given Von Miller the deal that Buffalo gave him to come back and just focused on the defense and gotten a random guy to just hand off the football to Javonte Williams because they would have saved a lot more money and they'd be a better football team for it. The Lions have an unstoppable offense, 24 points against the Vikings. It's not the whole story. I think they missed like 3 field goals in that game. And it's the lowest offensive output that they've had this season. And I mean, they're going for it on 4th down. They're getting it. They're getting good quality looks. Their running game looks to be really good. They've been a little banged up on the offensive line, defensive players, DeAndre Swift. But somehow they're still managing to just put pressure on opposing teams. I think if the game was played 10 times, they would beat every team below them at least 6 times. So that's why I have them at 12. San Francisco 49ers, they're going to get better the more reps that Jimmy G gets. Now, I know he's been in the system for 3, 4, 5 years, whatever it's been. But Jimmy G basically was cast out and basically not given access to the facility this offseason because they wanted Trey Lance to have such full confidence, in his role in this team. It backfired because he got injured, and you never want to wish injury on a player, and you never expect injury, for random ankle play like that. But Jimmy Garoppolo is going to get more comfortable with the players. George Kittle's back, Deebo Samuel, and Brandon Ayuk. They're all put together. And once, we'll see what happens with Trent Williams. But if Trent Williams stays in that game, they don't lose to the Broncos. That's why I've got them 2 spots ahead, not just 1 spot. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, their defense continues to just look amazing, and their offense continues to just look terrible. Now, part of that's Chris Godwin is out. Part of that's Julio's out. But, I mean, really, I didn't expect Julio to play 17 games this season. And then Mike Evans got suspended because he's a punk. That's a completely different story. Once they get all put together, they might be a little bit better offensively, but Brady tends to be better throwing to random guys that aren't being covered than to great players that are being covered. So I don't really take much stock into, they weren't fully healthy. Like, Brady looked better throwing to the bums. And then we've got the Vikings who, really, they beat up on the Packers. They beat up, not beat up, but they had a huge comeback on the Lions. And then they got their butts kicked by the Eagles, which so far everybody's kind of gotten their butts kicked by the Eagles. The Vikings have yet to play a fully healthy game. Their secondary with their rookie cornerback and their veteran safety, Harrison Smith, hasn't been fully there. Dalvin Cook has yet to realize his role in this offense under Kevin O'Connell. And Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson haven't both had good games together. We'll see what happens moving forward. But so far, I like this to be one of the better teams right now. And then this right here is the cream of the crop. None of these have changed. The above average teams and the cream of the crop, they're the same 8 and the same 8, just, in a little bit different order. I still have the Bills as the best team. The Eagles, I wanted to put them above the Bills, but if they played today 10 times, not 10 times, but if, that game was played 10 times, simulated with all the same players that they have available to them right now, I just believe the Bills would win, 6, maybe 7 times. Same thing with the Eagles versus the Chiefs. The Chiefs were fully healthy. Everyone was there. It's just they had miscues, and everybody just didn't play well. So far, the Eagles have yet to play poor football. And for that reason, them being one of the 5, 6 best rosters in the NFL, I have them at number 2 because so far they're playing great. The Ravens, they have yet to play a great game, but their quarterback has yet to play even just an above average game. He's been playing absolute great football every single time he steps out onto the field. Those jokes like top 10 players in NFL history, like number 5, Ryan Fitzpatrick before he's named the starter. Nick Foles is a backup. Aaron Rodgers playing against Jacksonville or the Bears or whatever it is. That's Lamar playing for a contract. That's going to be what that is right there. Lamar and Aaron Judge playing for a contract. The Packers, I don't think their offense is as bad as it looked. It's going to get better. I promise you it's going to get better. If you're a fantasy owner, pick up Romeo Doubs today. Don't sell Aaron Jones. Don't sell A.J. Dillon. Hold that stock right now. The Dolphins, they are 3-0. They just beat the, Super Bowl favorite Bills. I like the Dolphins. I just have too many questions about the defense and too many questions about their ability to sustain drives, with the running game and things like that. I think they need to be a little bit too cute to score and to win, but we'll see. The Rams, I wanted to have them lower. It's just they're too good of a team that any given Sunday, if just a little bit of their talent is okay, they're gonna win games like they did against the Falcons and the Cardinals, who as we saw aren't great teams, but it's like I think the Rams played poorly against both of those teams and still controlled the football game all the way through, even though they didn't dominate the football game all the way through. And then I have the Chargers at 8, who they're going to be missing Rashawn Slater for the rest of the season. Keenan Allen is coming back. It's probably going to take him about 2 weeks before he's fully healthy. And then we'll see what Justin Herbert looks like. But right now, he does not look great. I don't think he should have played against Jacksonville. Now, obviously, having that big L is, a little bit retrospect. But I did not want him to finish the game against the Chiefs. And I didn't think he should play against Jacksonville. And I don't think he should play in this next game. I think he absolutely needs that time to rest. But we'll see what ends up happening. This right now is the pre-Week 4 NFL Power Rankings. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Be sure to like and subscribe. Stay up to date on all of our future content.